I'm back.
I'm back.
I'm back. I'm back. G'day guys. Well, after 2 years of craziness, I have finally relocated Tri-Sled to its new location and built the whole new factory, moved the old factory across, and starting to get some normality around here, so it's time to bring back the 1 monthly custom. So I'm loving the new shop. The layout's great. It's really practical for customs, and it's much easier to find things, and I've got different areas for different processes, so I can sort of get things ironed out and design and make things on the fly really quickly. I'm still getting into the swing of it though, so I haven't done as much video blogging on this build as I have in some of the previous stuff I did a couple of years ago. So this time it's just going to be a bit of a slideshow of things I just took for the client actually on the process of doing the build. So you can get a bit of an idea of how I went about building this one.
So as you saw in the photos, it's clearly got a chair on the front and a bike on the back. So what's that about? The client's daughter has a cerebral palsy, and that means limited mobility. Also, unfortunately for her, she occasionally has seizures, which sounds horrible, which means she can sort of want to jolt around, and staying on a bicycle has become obviously a bit dangerous and a bit scary. They previously had a Haas Pinot, which was basically, if you look that up, that's kind of a recumbent front seat, upright back seat, which kind of went well, but the Haas Pinot now is getting a little bit unmanageable because it's a two-wheel vehicle. So they wanted a trike, and they approached me with some photos, and I basically expanded on it from there. This is a poly seat. Actually, as you can probably tell, it's kind of a race car seat. Chose this because it's quite lightweight, about 4 kilo. Very easy to adapt to the process, and loads of head and side support for her, so we can make sure she stays put in the vehicle. The client requested a 5-point harness. So you can see we've got this 5-point adjuster here, strap them in, and you can see I've also put in a footrest, so there's no chance of her feet getting swept under or caught on the road if she weighs around a little bit. We're not quite sure how she'll take the handlebars, so we've made these bars fairly flexible and adjustable so they can just try and see what things work. In the back, it's kind of a conventional cargo bike type affair. This is actually out of the Fat Maxi jig, the cargo bike that we built. So I built the back end out of the Fat Maxi jig and the front end out of a trike jig that I use for making recumbents. You can see I've taken the top tube down a little bit lower. Dedicated mounts for the Bionics kit. This is probably the last Bionics build we'll do. Obviously they went bust a while ago, so we're using up a kit we have so we don't waste it. And we also think this kit is actually quite ideal for the bike. The pedal elect on it actually is really nice feedback for her, and basically means she won't be working any harder than if she was basically just pedaling on a bike by herself. Just going to keep giving you some views here. I engineered some lock stops in. You can see the way that one just kicks in there, and that one kicks in there, nice and soft. Just to sort of, and you can also see by the way that I've slowed the steering down, so there's a lot more steering movement than there is wheel movement. That's important on trikes like this because it's a very high center of gravity, so the bike's not too twitchy for the rider. Obviously there's a limit, and just being able to feel that limit so that when it goes on 2 wheels, it's not too scary and you can correct for it. So I'll drop a slideshow of some of the build in now, and so you can see the processes I took. A little bit, I'll do more in some of the future builds perhaps. And then when Beck gets home from work, we'll take it for a ride and you can see it on the road.
Déjame otra vez, no te conozco. Yo te di Déjame sola hoy en la mañana, déjame para allá, se va la gana. Yo te di todo. Siempre me dices que me amas, pero siempre en la cama. Cuando digo que te amo, sé que no te vale nada. No me juegues como ajedrez. Siempre me dices que me amas, pero siempre en la cama. Cuando digo que te amo, sé que no te vale nada. No me juegues como ajedrez. Yo te confío en ti, mis secretos, y yo viví por ti, sentí completo. En el final, no importa. Siempre me dices que me amas, pero siempre en la cama. Cuando digo que te amo, sé que no te vale nada. No me juegues como ajedrez. Siempre me dices que me amas, pero siempre en la cama. Cuando digo que te amo, sé que no te vale nada. No me juegues como ajedrez. Siempre me dices que me amas, pero siempre en la cama. Cuando digo que te amo, sé que no te vale nada. No me juegues como ajedrez. Siempre me dices que me amas, pero siempre en la cama. Cuando digo que te amo, sé que no te vale nada. No me juegues como ajedrez.
So, how's the ride? Well, pretty good. When I started building this project, I set out to do proper Ackerman steering front end as opposed to central steering like a box cargo bike, because I wanted a real bike handling and a bike that you could actually ride a reasonable distance. I feel like I've achieved that objective. The handling is very predictable, very forgiving, easy to get used to. We did notice that its stability without a passenger on it is a little bit limited, and I'll be recommending our customers have their first few rides with somebody in the front seat, as opposed to what you might expect where they'd want to try it without first. But in the priority position, i.e. when there's two people in the bike and they're taking it for a ride, the stability is excellent, and as I said, the handling is very forgiving, so very pleased. If you've enjoyed this, check out some of our other customs. That's trisled.com.au/custom is where you'll find all of those. We try to do about one a month. Thanks for watching. Cheers.